Alright guys, how's it going? And welcome to the action department. So today I think it would be pretty interesting to ask the question, did Arnold Schwarzenegger ever use fake weights during his competitive days as a bodybuilder? As well as later on. And I guess we could ask Sylvester Stallone the very same question. If he ever used fake weights to seem more impressive. So that being said, before we really get into it, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? Alright. So in this ad campaign, we have to be critical and ask the question, is Arnold using fake plates? Is the man still capable of curling 45-pound plates on each side? Now this ad is about 3 years old, so at the time he would have been 74 years old. Now in his younger days as a professional competitive bodybuilder, I would have said, yes, Arnold could definitely do it. However, here's where I'm not so sure. Look at how the man moves. Look at his shoulders, his biceps. Everything seems completely under control. Now, the heavier the weights are, the harder it is to control your body. And Arnold looks more like a samurai that's totally cool, totally in control of everything he does. Now, that being said, check this out, fellas. I managed to find this old picture of Arnold training with the guys, most likely at Gold's Gym in Venice. At the time, he was probably in his early to mid-20s, and definitely in his prime. Okay, he possibly get a little bit of help here from his friends Dave Draper and Frank Zane, but look at this. He has not only one, but two 45-pound plates on each side. The barbell itself also weighs around 40 to 45 pounds. So when you add up all the weight, he's curling 100 kilos here, equivalent to 220 pounds, which is freaking impressive. Now, I'm pretty sure these were not fake plates. So if Arnold at 25 years of age could curl two 45-pound plates on each side, maybe, just maybe, at 75 years of age, he could curl one 45-pound plate on each side. So what do you guys think? Please let me know. Okay, so here you can see Arnold doing the T-bar row. And to me, it looks like Arnold has a total of 4 45-pound plates, including the silver one that you see at the end, which I'm pretty sure that he definitely could have done in his prime. In fact, you see him in pumping iron going pretty crazy with this exercise. And those weights, I can promise you, were definitely the real thing. However, here, I'm not so sure. Now here's why I'm raising this question. The one at the end looks different than the other ones behind. So why is that? Is that so he can cover up the ones in the back that are maybe fake? And maybe it's just the silver one that's actually a real plate. Now 4 45 plates for a man in his 70s, even a former bodybuilder, I think it's very, very impressive. So if this is all real, I would say I'm very impressed by the man. So we have to ask, is this really the truth?
I lied.
However, even though Arnold is one of the greatest bodybuilders ever, let's not forget the man was also a big action star and an actor. You know what actors do? They act and pretend. And also, Arnold has always been a great businessman that will do whatever it takes to convince people that he's the man. Now that being said, we're also talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, so even though the man is in his 70s, every time he steps inside a gym, I don't think we should underestimate the man. But at the same time, I think it's only fair to ask some questions and be a little critical here. In my mind, I think some of it is exaggerated.
I lied.
Okay, so I have one more story about Arnold using fake weights. But before we do that, let's just take a quick look at Rambo himself, aka Sylvester Stallone. Now you might have seen this. It shows Sylvester Stallone getting up from the ground and raising two 45-pound plates. Not a bad shoulder workout for sure. Now Stallone today is 78 years old, and this I think was about 2 years ago, so he would have been 76, so already a senior citizen. Now I'm not exactly Rocky myself, but I have tried to do this and, well, let's just say it did not go very well. I also know a lot of really big, strong guys that have attempted to do this with absolutely no luck. So I seriously doubt that these 45-pound plates are real. Okay, I guess the question would be, why did Sylvester Stallone do this? Yeah, I'll definitely label this as fake as well. Well, maybe he could convince at least some people about this. And for the rest of us that are probably a little skeptical, well, at least it'll get us talking. So in the end, more PR for the man. Now to me, this doesn't look like it's the first time that Stallone has done this, and apparently he has a history of using fake weights. I believe this picture is from 1979, around the time he did Rocky 2. Now in this picture it looks like there's two 45-pound plates on each side. So not only is this exercise very heavy, but he would also have to use a certain amount of balance. Yeah, pretty interesting. So what do you guys think? Is this enough evidence to convince SLY?
SLY! The evidence has been falsified! You gotta believe me!
Yeah, Stallone sounds pretty pissed here, and very passionate if I may say. But maybe we should just move on. Okay, so back to Arnold and his impressive physique. Now, one of you guys sent me this picture, and I thought it was very interesting, very hilarious, and well, something doesn't seem real now, does it? Now, if you guys have spent some time inside a gym lifting those weights, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Now, on this bar, it looks like there's about 500 pounds of weight. And I'll go as far as to say, for anyone in the world to be able to curl this, well, I'll buy them a bottle of the finest French champagne, okay? Because this is not true. Alright, so there could be an explanation here. This is a still shot from the 1976 movie Stay Hungry, in which Arnold played, obviously, a bodybuilder. Now, it's not unusual in movies to use fake plates. They also sometimes use fake guns, like rubber guns, because real weights obviously can be heavy, but they can also be dangerous. When you have a lot of people walking back and forth on a movie set, walking into some of those real dumbbells or machines actually can hurt quite a bit. I once had a small role in the movie See Arnold Run, in which a lot of us were supposed to pump iron on Venice Beach. And most of those weights that we used that day were rubber weights. And again, mostly for safety reasons, but also because we had to literally lift those weights all day, and even professional bodybuilders cannot do that. You simply would get too tired. Now, the movie Stay Hungry actually earned Arnold Schwarzenegger a Golden Globe in 1977. And since we're still on the subject with Stallone here, he was also nominated that very same year and in the same category, Best Newcomer for Rocky. But apparently he lost to Arnold. Of course, now decades later, I think we have to admit that the Golden Globes did not quite get it right. I mean, we all remember the character Rocky Balboa, but do you remember the character Joe Santos? Probably not. Anyway, the Golden Globes 1977 was the very first time that these two future action stars and rivals actually met each other, and there was bad blood right from the start. And yes, it was a rivalry that lasted many years. Arnold has admitted that he said something stupid about Stallone, and Stallone thought that Arnold had way too much ego. But the truth is, they were both young, just starting out, and got a little taste of success. So they probably both saw each other as a threat. Anyway, many years later, they joined forces, they became friends, trained together, and also opened the restaurants in the 90s Planet Hollywood. And they have also appeared in 4 movies together, The Expendables 1, 2, 3, and Escape Plan. So today they are the best of buddies, but it certainly did not start out that way. Now, the movie Stay Hungry was actually quite interesting. It also had some pretty big names like Jeff Bridges and Sally Field. And of course, we cannot forget Arnold's grease man that you see in this shot. His name is Robert Englund. You probably remember him better as Freddy Krueger. Yes, but this was in his early days. Okay, so one reason that I'm pretty sure they use fake plates in this movie is because in the end of the film, Jeff Bridges is fighting this older guy, and the guy goes crazy and he keeps throwing dumbbells, weights, everything at him. And obviously they have added metal sounds. But I can promise you one thing, what you see right now, those are not real plates. Also, it's literally impossible to throw 45-pound plates through a gym like this, like they're nothing. But it looks like a lot of fun though. Now, I mentioned this crazy old guy, and in the film he actually loses his wig, which is actually a very funny scene. Now, I should mention that about a decade later, this actor and Arnold Schwarzenegger teamed up again, this time for the movie Predator. If you're an action movie freak, then you definitely remember him from the beginning of the film where he played the General. A very cool scene opposite Arnold and also the late Carl Weathers. Now, there's an interesting story the way Arnold got the part in this film. At the time Arnold got cast, he weighed somewhere between 230 and 240. But the director said, I wanted you to be smaller and slimmer and not weigh more than 210 pounds. Now, for Arnold, he had not been down to 210 since he was probably in high school. So that was a serious challenge for him. The director even said, come back in a couple of months and then you'll step on the scale. And if you weigh over 210 pounds, you're not going to get the part. Now, I find that a bit odd because at the time, Arnold was the greatest bodybuilder in history and a 6-time Mr. Olympia. So who would have been their second choice? Nonetheless, that's what happened. Maybe the director just showed off his ego and wanted to show that he was boss and all that. He probably just tried to intimidate Arnold or to motivate him. And obviously it worked because Arnold came back several weeks later and he stepped on the scale and he weighed exactly 209 pounds. And yes, he got the part. Now, if you guys are old Arnold fans and for some reason you missed this movie, yeah, it's worth checking out for sure. Don't expect it to be anything like Terminator 2 though. But with a combination of drama, comedy, and some Arnold poses left and right, yeah, you might actually find it amusing. The movie's about a young rich businessman played by Jeff Bridges, who buys a gym in Alabama. But his dishonest business partner is up to no good. After Bridges' character spent some time with weightlifter Joe Santo, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and a female employee at the gym, Mary Tate, played by Sally Field, Craig wants out of the deal. The property negotiations turn ugly, which causes a big brawl at the gym and a spectacle at a big bodybuilding show. In fact, it's so crazy so you see at least 100 bodybuilders running down the streets of Alabama, flexing and posing in every direction. The movie is not exactly a masterpiece, and I doubt that it won any Academy Awards. However, it's a cute little fun movie. And the funniest part is to see a young Arnold Schwarzenegger. I would say this movie and Arnold's Golden Globe that he received for the part, as well as Pumping Iron that was released the following year, definitely helped putting Arnold on the map. He wasn't a star yet, but just a few years later, he was cast as Conan the Barbarian, and a couple of years after that, the Terminator himself, and the rest is movie history. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to check in next week. I have more videos coming your way. Everything from bodybuilding, martial arts, action movies, you name it, because this is the Action Channel. Have a good day now.